Hello, and welcome to the podcast that discusses all things gaming. Coming to you from the home of Indie PopCon, Gen Con, and the gaming capital of the world, we are The Established Facts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 188 of The Established Facts.
We are sure about that number, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm y'all are out there
Right?
witnesses.
Yeah, it says 188.
188. Okay. Because we know the established fact from last episode.
That's
so,
true.
Okay.
That's true.
I can't read
That's
or
true.
write, so
Right, exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
So, as you can hear,
188.
we have several more voices on the podcast today, as we did on our last wrap-up episode of PopCon Fort Wayne, when it was just Joshy and I riding in his van and trying not to be shaken to death by Indiana highway potholes.
Yeah, and I hope you all enjoyed the rhythmic sounds of tires on the pavement.
Were you trying to put them to sleep? Was that
Soothing
the
melody.
Well,
plan?
you know, we figure we put them to sleep when we do a regular recording. We might as well add some ambient noise to it.
Ambient music in the back.
Put it on as you're falling asleep. Our listening count goes up, and your sleep amount goes up as well.
See, there we go.
We all benefit.
Everybody benefits. All right, let's go ahead and get into our introductions, and then we will discuss what happened in 2018. All right, to my left, we have...
Dr. Deb.
This is Josh.
in Prime.
And of course, I'm your host, a Big Don. That's right, just a Big Don. And
Only one.
Only one.
Only one. There can be only one.
That's good.
Versus the wrong line, which is there can only be one. And I have a certain pet peeve in being an actual Highlander fan when I say it the correct
But what's
way.
the proper English way of saying it?
It's there can be only one.
Okay.
There can be
only
one.
one. Slice.
Only needs
Yeah.
to come before
Fair enough.
Yeah.
the word one.
That's right.
Yep.
And speaking of only one, we had only one 2018 on the calendar last year.
Thank goodness.
Well, depending on the day and how much I had
I mean,
to
there were at
drink.
least 365 days with that year on
That's
it.
true, but we only had 1 year labeled 2018. So what I would like to do is I would like to go around and do kind of a year in review, and then a preview / I guess we're technically already in 2019, but a preview
The
of
last
some of the
12
things
days that we've had so far and
That's
how
it.
that's going.
a preview of things to come that we are anticipating and looking forward to. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the same order that we introduced ourselves. And, of course, this will be our quick-fire round, if we even do those anymore. All right. Debbie, what was your favorite podcast of 2018? And now it can be an episode we did or something else that you may have heard that was very interesting to you.
Well,
It should be what we did.
this is going to be a challenge because I wasn't in that many podcasts.
That shouldn't be very much of a challenge. then.
Well, it is because it's a very short
You
list,
have
so I don't have a lot
two
to choose from.
choices.
Yeah, two choices.
Well, I'm going to go with my personal, my very personal bias because it's my personal answer.
Sure.
I loved the little podcast we did with me and Avital and Josh when we did the actual play of Fantastic Beasts: Perilous Pursuit, because I absolutely love that game. I love the design. I love the team building, the team aspect of it. I love Harry Potter, so of course I love Fantastic Beasts. So that was just a lot of fun. We didn't have a lot of people on the mics, but we were able to play a game and we could just chat, and there was just a lot of, when it's a smaller group at the table, it's just fun. And we got to play one of my favorite games right now. So
Sure.
there you go.
Well, and as we discussed at Starbase Indy, I unfortunately missed the playthrough of that game, but I definitely...
I'll play it again.
Well, I concluded the episode with the fact that Newt Scamander is the Ash Ketchum of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, because apparently in the game, Josh Prime, since you and I have neither one played,
I don't even know I know what a newt is, but I don't even know that name. So
Newt Scamander, you haven't
Scamander,
seen
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find
Beasts?
Them?
I mean, I've slept a lot.
Oh, okay. Crimes of Grindelwald?
even through the movie.
Right? Both of them? Have you seen both of them?
He hasn't seen
No,
Crimes
I
of
haven't.
Grindelwald
Okay.
yet.
Go see Crimes of
I
Grindelwald.
have.
Anyway,
I have.
You know how long it took me to watch the last Harry Potter movie that came out?
Yeah, but Crimes of Grindelwald has
You just
Johnny
watched it
Depp.
yesterday.
Just watched it. No.
Watch it for Johnny Depp, if for
That's
nothing
it.
else.
That's it.
But-
So in the game, you are Newt Scamander, the main character of Fantastic Beasts,
Oh, that guy.
and you are traveling around trying to capture magical beasts,
magical beasts
fantastic
that escaped from the
that have
case.
escaped from the case.
I see that. I
And
see the
so-
connection already.
The analysis that I made in our Starbase Indie episode was that you are sort of a trainer beast master of sorts that is walking around with an extra dimensional contraption trying to capture mystical magical beasts that have powers.
So you're like Ash Ketchum as a grown adult.
That's it. That's exactly
basically
what I
what it
said.
is. So, yeah.
I said it's kind of like Harry Potter Pokemon.
So you take out all the Jigglypuffs and you put in dragons, and there you go.
Well, and especially after Crimes of Grindelwald, when you see how
Yeah.
much he utilizes the beasts
yes.
to his advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always just thought
good
that he
stuff.
was a future Doctor Who because this is dear to my heart. I
Doctor.
want him to be
Doctor Who.
from the show Doctor Who,
Okay.
a future doctor from that show.
She can call
Eddie
him Doctor
Redmayne
Who.
or-
Eddie
Or-
Redmayne.
Yeah.
I want
I
Eddie
love Eddie
Redmayne to
Redmayne.
be someday to be a doctor on Doctor Who.
So-
Because it's bigger on the inside.
Right.
He's already
Just
got
saying.
that.
It's true.
The
It's
Doctor
true.
plays in is a character on Doctor Who.
Yes.
And the monster is
Yes.
the creation that Dr. Frankenstein created. Just remember that.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, I'm done talking now.
Not that those have any real correlation to each other.
Oh, but they do. Because people refer to the Doctor as Doctor Who, and they refer to the monster as Frankenstein. And it drives me nuts. 'Cause Frankenstein is the Doctor. Ah!
Frankenstein is the Doctor, but who is the Doctor?
I'm glad that we're getting all of our frustrations out on this episode.
All of it.
all of
Dr.
it.
Frankenstein and the Doctor from Gallifrey, the Time Lord. That's what it is.
So Doctor Who is Dr. Frankenstein?
No.
I'm so confused.
Wow. Only small children might be able to say it, according to Capaldi's doctor. No one knows his name except small children sometimes can hear it, I think is what he says before he regens. So
Before he bamfs out.
he totally poofs. But yep.
Well, Joshy, what would you say your favorite podcast for 2018 was?
I probably would go with the ending of Lance's Session Zero, the dungeon puzzle thing that we did that ended in Ernest Gary Gygax. I was just enthralled the entire time, even though I was like, what does Gary Gygax and Ernest have to do with anything? And
Oh my gosh.
I was totally
like-
thrown off by it, but
Yeah.
it was so good. I don't. That whole series was just a lot of fun with the Milton Bradley games, and even with all the craziness going on with us, having the baby at the time and trying to cram as much in as we could in a very short time. And it was a fun podcast to try and mix as well, because we pieced together like 8 different recordings because we kept stopping to record to actually play the game, because it's kind of hard to play a memory game on microphone. So Lance put a lot of work into it, and it was a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to remember it for a while.
Yeah, Lance. This is props to you, Lance. He's not here today thanks to Snowpocalypse
Snowpocalypse, yeah.
2019. But
Yeah, the blizzard of 2019.
pretty
4 to
much.
7 inches.
Yeah. Well,
We got a decent amount of snow, but it
so if
wasn't.
he was here, I would give him a high five. So this is your high five through the mic, dude.
It
'cause that
wasn't, but it's still been funny. Everyone referred to it as Snowpocalypse
yeah,
already.
not that bad. But anyway,
It's 2019.
Lance. He put in a lot of work on it, and I was impressed by how much effort he really put into it. I mean, he can deliver with all that effort. So it was awesome.
All right, Prime. You have been here for, I don't know,
3 episodes.
3 of 2018.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, but I don't have like kids or anything as an excuse.
He doesn't have that.
It's just being lazy and not wanting
I just
to get
had
out
my
of bed.
abdomen cut open about a year ago, but other than that,
Well, I mean, it happens to the best of us. So.
I've eaten
You know.
peppers that made me feel like my abdomen was being ripped open.
I mean, I had like a stomach ulcer thing that made me feel like I wanted to cut my abs open. So I
there you go.
think we're all in that boat.
I think,
all right,
yeah,
cool.
well, So what do you got out of those three? What was your fave?
I mean, I would say the Let's Play that we did was the Session Zero thing that we did with Lance. I keep on wanting to say Let's Play. Too much YouTube.
Right.
But yeah, the Session Zero
Let's play.
that we did with Lance.
The factor play.
Right. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm sorry I cut you off.
yeah, I know. Anyway, yeah, so I'd say that's probably it. And for very similar reasons as Josh, so mine's pretty short.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a really good time with that factor play that Lance put together for the Session Zero. I really enjoyed the little like mini games that led up to what happened with your character. Like it was kind of neat. I was sad that Prime and I didn't get a chance to finish that. But I will say, even though I think I was out more episodes this last year than I had been in previous years for
You were.
one reason or another.
For different reasons.
But I have to say that, and maybe it's because it's fresh in my memory. But
Sneeze on the truth.
yeah, right.
Bring it.
The actual play and live podcast that we did with Purvis Games,
Movie buff.
with Movie Buff, I would have to say that was probably one of my favorite podcasts that we've done, for sure in 2018, but probably in general one of my favorite ones that we've done. That game is a lot of fun, and Justin and Corey are really, really cool people to hang out with. We actually, I will say in general, and we'll talk a little bit more about these too, but the Fort Wayne PopCon convention, there were a lot of really cool people that we got a chance to meet. Miranda from Yellow Games, and Corey and Justin from Purvis Games, and quite a few other people that were just really fun to hang out with and stuff. So I look forward to hopefully seeing a future for that convention in Fort Wayne. But even if it was just the one, it was good. I thought it was a really good convention. Which ironically enough, brings me to my next question. For 2018, out of all of the conventions that you attended, regardless what you did there, what would you say was your favorite convention, and then your favorite con moment out of 2018?
We're going in the same order?
That's
We're going
fine.
backwards?
Yeah, we'll go the
Okay.
same order.
Well, once again, welcome to the life of, a mother of two small children. I went to 2 conventions. However, one of those conventions, I don't think I played any games in. I'm pretty sure I didn't play any games at Fear the Con.
Yes, you did. You played in the room. You played Hero
That's
Realms
true.
with Carrie.
That's true. I did not play in the convention
That's true.
area itself, but I did play Hero Realms with Carrie as our children were asleep. So I played that one game. So that was really awesome. So I will give props to both because it was for different reasons. Fear the Con is always fun because even if I don't play any games, it's still great to sometimes just sit around and talk to those folks that I don't get to see very often. I get to, chat with Adam. And then chat with Beth Roper, folks like that who I don't see very often, which is just fun no matter how you shake it. The Drury, and it's a chance to get away from Indianapolis, hang out. We did some other stuff there. We went and saw the Magic House. We went to the St. Louis Zoo, which is epic, by the way. If you get a chance, it's amazing. So it wasn't really a convention though. It was more like it was cool to go to St. Louis and see my friends. So I don't know. You can all shake your head at me and go, that wasn't a convention. So Gen Con, I attended Gen Con. And so Gen Con has to be my fave because it's Gen Con. Come on. But a favorite moment at Gen Con, that's a hard one because there were a couple of really good ones. trying to think. No. It's gonna, which I didn't make any of the specials this year, though. I was thinking back and I was like, that's the wrong year for the special. I didn't do the specials. Oh, that's right, because we had the flood when you were in one of the specials.
Correct.
That's right. Our house had a little flood when that happened. Oh, help me. I really loved wandering the exhibit hall this last year. And it was because I had my kids, and so I wasn't able to play in as many games. So I really felt like I just kind of took time to just wander and really look at the different booths. And that last day, we picked up some games that are actually really fun. Like Three Cheers for Master is a really cute, fun game. Hounded is a really cute little fun game. And so I was able to enjoy the exhibit hall more than I normally do, because normally it's okay, the exhibit hall, get off to a game, exhibit hall, get off to a game. And this year it really wasn't as much like that. So it was fun to just relax in the exhibit hall. I want to do some Pathfinder specials this coming year. Wait, that's the next part, isn't it? Sorry. I'll wait for that. Anyway, just relaxing in the exhibit hall more than I usually get to was good.
Cool. Joshy?
I went to like 3 or 4 more conventions than Deb did, and I don't
Yes.
feel like I have as much to say as she does, which was pretty entertaining. So does
I pack everything I can into one event because I only get like 1 or 2 a year.
does the con moment have to come from the same convention?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So I think overall PopCon Indy was my favorite convention again this year. We were able to really kind of relax and enjoy the convention, do some recording, talk with some people.
We raised a bunch of money.
We did.
For the
The
Bodhana
never-ending
group.
dungeon went so well, and I'm not positive that's coming back this year, but I believe so for PopCon. I do know that they are not planning on doing it for HoosierCon, which is okay.
Sure.
It did take a break, whatever. But that went really well. Like there were a lot of really good kind of overall things that went really well at PopCon Indy, and that relationship that we have with those guys is, I think, going to be a forever friendship type thing, and I'm very appreciative of everything they've done for us, and just get to see what they get to do new each year. But favorite moment, there are a lot of things that have happened with conventions and whatnot that went on this year, but I don't think I'm ever going to forget the 1.5 or 2 hours we spent in the Haba booth with Maggie.
He's absolutely right.
Because
It was
we were at
legit
Gen Con. This was at Gen Con.
investment of time.
And my goodness, she was just enthralled
Yes.
by every game they had. We bought 3 or 4 of their games.
4 games, I think, is what we ended up with. Yeah.
And Maggie has played every one of them, loves to
Yeah.
play every one of
Yes.
them.
She's a
What games did
She's
you
a
buy?
buddy gamer. I love. She bought a unicorn glitter.
Glitter.
Hold on, I'll go
Yeah,
and pull
okay.
them out.
There's a unicorn game. Dragon's Breath was another one. This is a gem collection game. The Princess Glitter Gold or whatever. It's you are a unicorn trying to get to this little unicorn's birthday party, and you're going around picking up gems and picking up friends and taking them to the party before she gets to the party. And
Gotcha.
it's silly, but you can't help but love playing with it. And we picked her up I picked her up. So
Unicorn
glitter luck. Sleepy Princess Pile Up and Dragon's Breath. So Sleepy Princess Pile Up is braced off the princess in the pea. You're trying to
Gotcha.
balance mattresses, pillows, and comforters on a single pea.
On a pea.
And once you get them all balanced up, you win.
Nice.
So there's a collaborative, and then there's a like competitive version of it. But they're all ages 3 or 4 and up. And she just was.
Unicorn glitter look is very pink. So
It's
all
very
of you,
pink.
all you people out there who have daughters that you want to get into gaming, there's sparkles, there's pink, there's very, very girly. So oh yeah.
But just how much she just loved it, like, and just
Yeah.
she wanted to play this and she wanted to play that. And I was like, honey, which one do you want? And so I want that one and I want that one. We're just like, fine, we bought all 3 of them, and they gave her.
They're not
cape.
super expensive.
No, they're
either,
not.
so-
No, and they gave us a discount, and they gave her a little purple cape, which she is super Maggie
for
when she wears
Super
it.
Rhino, I think.
Yeah,
Rhino Hero.
Rhino Hero,
that's
that's
it.
the
Yes,
Whi-
yes.
Which is what I own.
one. Oh, yeah. How is that one?
It's really good.
Yeah, it's a card stacking game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
a dexterity-based game. I also own Animals Upon Animals.
That
Yes, I've seen that one too.
that game is very well done and lots of fun, and it is it can really show you what a man is when you have 3 30-plus-year-old men trying to play it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did a
That's a
playthrough of that 2 years ago
Yep.
or something like that.
Well, I took a picture of you playing Unicorn Glitter Luck
That's right.
and sent it to our pastor, and I was like, "Here's a confident man playing
it's
Unicorn Glitter Luck with his daughter."
That's right.
And he's like,
So Glitter Luck is one of the 4
Yes.
unicorns you play,
That
and
is
you are
correct.
preparing a party for Rosalie.
Rosalie. And
So,
you have to collect gems.
Props up to Haba
And
Games.
yes.
And I'll throw another pop at Purvis Games because
Mm-hmm.
at PopCon Fort Wayne we purchased Amazon Monkey.
Yeah, and she's played that 2 or 3 times
Yep.
too. Yes.
And I think, yeah, we got that one.
and Movie Buff.
And Movie Buff. Yeah.
So we have a 4-year-old who likes to play games.
That's right.
I feel like we have a moral victory here, people.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Yep.
I got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old that like to play games at home, so it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
yeah. Even if the youngest ones, the Sams.
Oh, yeah.
Even if the Sams don't like games, at least you got one that
He
you
will.
can sit down. Yeah, and yeah, he'll like games like football. Like I want to put some pads on and hit people really hard. All right, Mr. Prime. Convention moment, favorite of 2018. What was yours?
This is a difficult one. I went to a lot of conventions in 2018. But I think my favorite moment itself was when we were in line waiting to get autographs from LeVar Burton, and we were standing between LeVar Burton and Will Wheaton.
And Will Wheaton. Yeah, that was pretty
So-
cool. That was. Yeah.
Yeah,
fanning myself.
Getting to talk to Will Wheaton. He's a nice guy. He's a
yeah,
very nice
and
guy.
LeVar Burton seemed pretty cordial too. I'm sure he was busy in general, just
Sure.
because conventions, especially when you're doing signature or when you're doing signings and stuff,
Yeah.
it's always taxing because even though you're there for maybe a couple of hours, it's still a couple of hours of nothing but signing. Like you know what I mean? So I can understand how people can be overwhelmed with that situation, especially in circumstances where you have a high anxiety or you're a pretty big introvert in general. You know, I can see how that can drain you pretty quickly. But let's see. I would have to say my favorite actual convention overall, though, is Gen Con. So, and that's just because of the fact that there's just so much to do. Like, I like PopCon, but PopCon for me is always just a matter of that's the convention that I work at. You know what I mean? Because I'm at I'm at our booth and we're promoting our podcast and we're talking with the staff and I feel like that's the biggest relationships that we have within the convention is the relationship that we have with the staff itself, and that all revolves around us working really. So
Yeah.
to promote, so as much as I don't mind PopCon, I would say that my favorite convention to attend is Gen Con. So.
Yeah. I was trying to think of all the cons we went to. Went to Hoosier Con, went to Starbase Indy. You guys went to
Fear the Con.
Fear the Con.
Gen
We
Con.
went to Gen Con. We went to
PopCon.
Con
PopCon
Indy.
in Fort Wayne.
PopCon Fort Wayne. You did
And
both
Indy
PopCons. Both PopCons.
So
That's
much.
6 this year.
So
Do you count
many.
BillCon? Is that a con to you guys?
Yeah, but he missed
I
Bill
didn't
Con,
get
and
to
I was
go
only
to
for a little
Con this
bit.
year.
That's right. Okay.
It's because
I-
you Brigadoon, which I heard you won an award for.
Hey, yeah.
You won an
Yeah,
award?
yeah,
I didn't
yeah. So-
know.
You want an
So,
Oscar?
Quick
it would be a
aside,
Tony.
but
First
this-
of all, it would be a Tony.
That's
That's right.
Quick aside, because this is really cool.
Yeah. So this last fall and in 2017 as well, I introduced myself into doing musical theater. Now, I've been a musician and a vocal performer since I was like 5, legitimately since I was 5, so 30 years now. And it's only been within the last 2 years that I have gotten into doing musical theater on the stage, which I really love and have been
Totally see
trying.
that with your personality.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to figure out the balance of performing. I mean, with improv and with musical theater, and then being able to spend time with my family and my friends, and making sure that they're not suffering from lack of me being there because I'm, pursuing something that I have a passion for and really love. It's a difficult balancing act, but somehow we've been blessed to be able to do it. It's not always easy, but it is always a really cool experience. So I was in Brigadoon this last fall in 2018. And if you don't know much about Brigadoon, it is it's a 1946-47 musical that was written about two gentlemen who go to Scotland on holiday and or vacation, if you are from the States, and they stumble upon this magical town of Brigadoon in the Highlands of Scotland, and it's a love story, comedy. There's a lot of really, really beautiful parts about the production in general. The movie is decent. Our stage performance was incredible. And I'm not just saying that because I got a chance to be in it. I'm saying that as if I had been someone in the audience to see it, it would have been incredible as well. It was just a really, really great production. And even the year before that, I did Sister Act with actually several people that were in Brigadoon, which was another really, really good show. But yeah, there was a publisher or a couple of publishers that were there from like an online Broadway, off-Broadway blog website, and they do awards for different musicals. And I think they're state by state or maybe region by region. I'm not really 100% sure. But Brigadoon got nominated for Best Musical Non-Professional class because obviously it's all volunteer community theater, and we won. We actually won Best Musical within the season, which I think is like the end of 2017, or like fourth quarter of 2017 to the third quarter of 2018 is when they kind of nominate different shows, and we ended up winning Best Non-Professional Musical. So it was so cool, so neat. I don't know how many of the people that I've actually been in shows with have listened to our podcast before, but if they have, or if you are a lover of musicals, I will make sure to put that information up whenever I am in a local show or something like that, if you want to come out and see it, or our improv company, Breakfast Anytime Improv. If you want to come out and see us be really goofy and silly on stage, we'll definitely make it more of a point to get that kind of stuff out for all of our listeners and people that we love to see and stuff. So anyway, as far as conventions are concerned, man, I would have to say my favorite convention was probably PopCon. Indy. Yeah, I would say PopCon Indy was my favorite convention of the year. It's really tough to nudge out Gen Con for me because Gen Con is our attending gamer con. We just really love going to Gen Con. And the funny thing is, like, when I'm thinking about my favorite con moment, there are so many from so many of the different conventions that it's kind of tough for me to pin down one specific moment. Ironically enough, similar to Joshy, my favorite convention, though there were some fantastic moments at PopCon, my favorite convention moment is really, really tough. But I would have to say, if I had to break it down to one decision, it would be meeting Walter Jones at Indiana Comic-Con. If you don't know who Walter Jones is, go back to the early 90s and turn on a show called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and check out the coolest Power Ranger next to Tommy a.k.a. Zach.
Well, he's got the best dance moves.
He has the
Yeah.
best dance moves, and he has an axe that turns into a huge blaster. I'm just saying, like,
I was going to mention him actually, but I wasn't positive whether that was in 2018 or not.
it
or
was
in 2017,
quite
so.
literally one of the nicest guys on a celebrity level that we got a chance to meet. And the funny thing is, like, we met a lot. We met Will Wheaton, we met LeVar Burton, we met Walter Jones. We got a chance to meet David Sobolov at PopCon Fort Wayne.
All of our childhood heroes.
I'm just saying, like, and it was so neat to be able to meet all of these really
Fanboys.
cool people.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, it was really cool, and it was so funny. I think the best part, what makes it it's really, really, really close competition, because there were a lot, like, sitting down and playing the Pathfinder exclusive with Adam and his son. So much fun.
Oh, goodness.
There's so much fun.
Sorry, I missed it. I had a flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to play with Sander in another game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
true
fun to
too.
play
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Xander's a lot of fun to play with.
Did I play that one?
Sander and
I don't know.
I don't think you were.
I don't think you
It
were
was
in the
Lance,
exclusive.
Don.
Oh, no, not the
Josh.
exclusive.
This
Yeah.
is during
I'm
the
sorry.
day.
I think we're supposed to refer to him as Z.
Z.
Oh,
Yeah.
Z. Oh, sorry,
Sure.
Z. Okay.
Sorry. My bad. Anyway,
I'm confused.
Are you going to do a little
So-
Mario jump when we say his name?
No. That's too much editing.
that's so in general, I really just a lot of really good moments.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, our improv company debuted at HoosierCon, which was a lot of fun. We went to PopCon Fort Wayne. I would have to say the two PopCons, Indie PopCon and PopCon Fort Wayne, the two best shows
Bar none.
improv that we have done thus far. Getting a chance to do a show in front of 140 people at Indie PopCon, incredible.
Yeah.
But meeting one of my childhood heroes in Walter Jones,
Unforgettable.
it was so funny because we're standing in line and we get up to the table, and now it's myself, my wife Bonnie, my brother Prime, and our three kids, one of which is in a stroller. Sam's in a stroller. But Joey and Dan, my two older boys, have watched almost every iteration of Power Rangers that exists on Netflix. And I didn't even realize there were as many as there were.
I didn't either.
Until they started watching Power Rangers. And I think I was the one who initiated them into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because it was like, hey, I really love this show when I was a kid. Let's watch it together. And they loved it. And so then they started watching all the other ones.
I got really confused when there were pirate Power Rangers.
Power Rangers Mega Force. Anyway, so it was really funny because, of course, the boys know who Walter Jones is as Zach, as the Black Power Ranger. And we're standing in line, and we get up to the table, and Walter was just an extremely sweet guy. He's talking to the boys, and they're really hyped up, and he's like, hey, and I got an autograph from him for a pop figure that we gave away at PopCon. And that was the reason I was in line, outside of the fact that I really wanted to meet Walter Jones. But it was really neat because he's talking to the kids, and the boys are loving it. And, of course, Josh and myself and my wife are just standing there in complete and utter fangirl awe. Like, we're like, this is Zach, the Power Ranger. And we're just like totally quiet, totally silent. The boys are having a great time, and he looks up at us, and he smiles and starts laughing, and he goes, it's really funny, because I forget sometimes that though the kids, my sons are 9 and 7. The kids really love it when they've gone back and watched. But the true fans of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are you guys who are standing here in line waiting for, and we're
The
just
parents,
like, yeah, it's
yeah.
totally cool. It's totally fine. Yeah, we're totally cool. It's totally great. This is totally fine. We're like, this is great.
That was more
my
your
God.
wife than anything.
Yeah, well, she does that.
Whenever
does
she
that when
sees
she's in-
someone
oh my
famous.
gosh, it's so
Or-
funny.
I understand that. I have no problem talking with people,
Yeah.
having conversations, but there are certain people, I know they are just regular people, they want to be treated that way, and I have to keep that in my mind. But there are certain people, so far, I mean, LeVar Burton. I got to meet LeVar Burton and get an autograph for my wife. I'll be very clear. I got the autograph for my wife.
Because
Not for
Not
yourself.
for myself.
LeVar Burton is Geordie LaFord, but
That was-
he is the man of Reading Rainbow.
That's it.
Okay,
if,
people.
If I had to pick a star shining moment for Bonnie, it was definitely
Oh, yeah.
that.
Butterfly in the sky.
And meeting
Yes.
LeVar was fantastic. Meeting Kevin Nash,
Oh,
I didn't know what to
forgot
do.
that you did that. I forgot.
I didn't know what to do. Like, I had met Hulk Hogan and I didn't know what to do. You see the picture of me meeting Hulk Hogan? I didn't know whether to smile. He smiled. I didn't. I look stupid.
Yeah, it's funny.
Now Sting,
So funny.
you also were having a moment with Sting.
Oh yeah,
That's when you got to ask him, are we smiling or what?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There are certain moments where you're just like, I don't really know what to like. I could talk to some of the biggest, highest end up people at Carrier at my work, and then you meet this guy, this just person that you knew growing up, and you're like, melt. Like, I don't know what to do.
So, yeah.
See, I don't have that issue as far as when I'm up there talking, like Will Wheaton. I love Will Wheaton.
Sure.
I love tabletop. I love Geek and Sundry and everything that he
And
has
man still
touched.
needs to play The Captain is Dead.
Felicia Day,
As
the partnership
ensign.
that they have with Nerdist and stuff like that. Like, Will Wheaton is such a nice guy, and I really love his story when he talks about his two sons and his wife and how he really bonded with his two. I'm going to say sons. I mean, they are his stepsons, but I mean, they're his kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, you sometimes I think that kind of thing gets a little, people get a little jaded with like the whole step parent story and stuff like that, and having to bond with the kids that aren't necessarily your blood children. But it was like listening to his story and talk about how he bonded with his kids was just really cool. And I'm like, sometimes he gets criticized because he can have some anxiety issues in big crowds, but it's like we have people on our podcast that have the same problem. They get into a big Gen Con crowd and it's like, please, I need some time to get away from this. I mean, one of them is sitting literally right next to me at the table. My wife is another one,
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm lying.
Right,
Sorry.
exactly. So I understand, like, people expect sometimes when you meet a celebrity that they're, that they have to be nice to you, that they have to be the cool person. And it's like, yeah, but sometimes everybody has a bad day. And sometimes you unfortunately meet that person on that bad day. And you just have to roll with it,
Yep.
You got to give, you got to give them a little grace, and they've been traveling and they're here for 2 days or 3 days, and they really want to meet people, but then they're just having a bad day, and you don't know what's happening outside of that
Right.
day.
Who knows what's going on in their family?
Yeah,
or in
they
their-
could have
their,
somebody
you know,
at
maybe
in
they're
a hospital,
totally,
or
they're
a
not feeling
pet
well
dying
themselves.
or something. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But anyway, that aside, being able to meet people like Will Wheaton and LeVar Burton and stuff like that, I don't get where my starstruck fanishness comes from is even walking up to them. Like, in the back of my head, I want to kind of leave that distance there because I have an idea and an image in my head of who that person is. And it's like watching professional wrestling and then understanding that a lot of portions of professional wrestling are, spoiler alert, predetermined.
Stage.
What?
Done.
But
Still real to me.
you're right.
Unless they injure themselves, and then it's all
Right.
All right, you're
Well,
winning.
and that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
it is real action, but obviously there are writers and there are creative people. They get paid to do that kind of stuff, to make storylines, whether they be good or bad. It's really nice sometimes to have that veil between you and the person that you are a fan of, a fanatic of. But it's like, if I were to walk into a room and not know that Kevin Nash was there and he'd be there, I'd be like, oh my God, that's Kevin Nash. And then the first question I'd ask him is, too sweet me, bro? You know what I mean? Like, it would be that kind of thing. Like,
And he did it.
oh yeah. I've seen pictures.
my biggest thing is, like, okay, so I did event security for a while, and I've kind of become numb to the whole fangirling out type of a thing. Like, I pretty much just look at them like normal people, but and
mean,
that's
they
how I
are.
talk. I
They
mean, I
are.
just talk to them.
They are human.
I just talk to them like they're Joe Schmo from across the street. Like, you know what I mean? But the thing is, like, when I see these famous people that, like, if I were to see one out in public, if I was at a bar and I saw The Undertaker, I'd be like, oh, that's The Undertaker. And then I would go, but what if I'm wrong? What if it's just a biker?
What if it's just a biker? Hey, are you the Undertaker? I'm about to be.
Like,
Have a nice night.
sorry, my mom's calling.
My
Like,
mom's calling.
Wow.
Oh goodness
Yes.
gracious! So in general, it sounds like we all had, in reflection, a good 2018 as far as cons and con moments, and like I said, I've got so many that it's just really really cool to know that there are competing interests when it comes to what kind of a year you had. Now, some of our favorite games that we have played in 2018. That's what I would like to address very quickly next. And this time, I'm going to go backwards.
oh,
And I'll start with Prime. So, Prime,
it's great because I'm completely unprepared for this answer.
Quick fire.
boom.
Do it.
All right, so
do it.
can you repeat the question, please?
Favorite game or gaming moment from 2018?
Favorite game. Okay, so this year, because this year is my first time that what? Anyways.
Josh is just distracting you.
Oh, okay. He's great at it too.
Wave on,
Yeah, he's Mr. Mime over there, just doing hand signals, and I'm like, what, am I going forward? What's going on here? Are you directing traffic, or am
Yes,
I?
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Like, I don't know what's going on. So anyway, I would say like my favorite game, because this is the first year that I've played it, was D&D 5th edition.
You've been playing on Roll20, right? Is
Well,
that what it was?
so I played at HoosierCon.
Right.
And that was the first time that I played it. And then I got a hold of a couple of friends online, and we did an online on Roll20 kind of a version, and that was fun for a little bit. And then it was basically like every convention that I can go to that actually had the game available, I would try and play, because D&D is my bread and butter. Really, it is. And I just feel like 5th edition is a drastic improvement to both 3, 5, and 4th. So it kind of hits along the same lines. I would want to say Pathfinder 2nd edition and D&D 5th edition are kind of...
Have you played 2nd edition Pathfinder yet?
No, but I know a lot of the mechanics and stuff to it.
Okay.
So, and there's obviously going to be differences because they're different gaming companies, but there are things that run parallel to each other with that game. So, yeah, if you get involved with D&D 5th edition, Pathfinder 2nd edition is probably not going to be a far stretch from what you're used to playing,
Right. Cool.
or vice versa. So,
Gotcha.
I've heard that too.
Joshy?
Okay, so favorite game. I'm going to answer both game and gaming moment because I can.
Who says?
Favorite game of the year, and it could be just because it's still stuck in my head, but I really don't care. Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4 is. I've had entirely too much fun with that game.
I've been watching
He's
I've been watching videos of that game. Yeah, it looks
It's
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah,
It's
He
I don't do
actually
this.
finishes.
No, finished.
Finished,
I
yeah.
had 100% on the main game and all
never
3
does that.
DLCs.
He never
I
does
like
that.
the.
And he totally did that.
I like, and I can say this without actually saying spoilers because it's pretty much towards the beginning of the game. Like the storyline with Miles Morales.
Yeah, the fact that he's in it and they
Yeah.
work towards him becoming a Spider-Man. You don't actually play as Miles. That's not true. There's a couple
you do.
scenes where you do.
Yeah.
But
next-
not
the
as
next one you
Spider-Man.
probably will.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just I've never really felt like they've done justice in a lot of superhero games. The Marvel Ultimate Alliance games were very well done. Those were probably the last ones I've seen. Like, they've never made a good Superman game. The Batman games have been incredible, but
Oh, the Arkham series.
yeah, but
so
Batman
good.
is just a guy with a lot of money.
Yeah, and
Like, you know-
Spider-Man 2 was great because of the open world aspect of things, but the storyline was
yeah.
like non-existent.
So they took the
It was,
Spider-Man.
it was a WoW version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
kinda.
Go here, get
Yeah.
a quest, do the thing,
Yeah.
come back.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
They did a really good job of you could just go around the city and stop crimes. I mean, you are Spider-Man, and even now with 100% of the main story, you can go back to the main story and keep going around, and there's still crimes happening, and you still got to stop crimes, which is just awesome because there's some replayability there.
And then they've got Easter eggs in the game throughout the entire game too. So
Yeah.
And jelly beans.
no, just Easter
Yum, yum,
eggs.
yum.
Oh
So-
yeah. Sorry. So, favorite gaming moment, and I don't remember what scenario. I don't remember what game. I just remember the convention and what happened. is when Xander one-shotted the bad guy at the end of that scenario.
My gosh,
That was
so
mine.
good.
That was the one that I was in. Whatever that was. That was a Pathfinder Day game. Maybe it was like a 2:00 game or something like
I
that,
heard
or the
about
10 a.m.
that.
game.
Adam told me
It
about
was-
that for hours.
It flabbergasted the DM. Like
It
the
did.
GM was just like, didn't know what to do. I mean, that was it. Boom.
Whatever
was-
the details behind that.
It was.
He's 10, 11, something along those lines. He's a kid.
Yeah.
And the rest of us have been playing role-playing games anywhere from, 3 to 15 years.
Right. Anytime in
And
that
this
range.
kid's only been playing a couple of years with the help of his dad.
I'm at 20.
20, with the help of his dad, has a character that puts down the final main bad guy in a Pathfinder Society scenario.
The whole scenario.
And we are as happy for him as he is happy.
Yeah.
And it's okay, we didn't get to fight the bad guy, but he one-shotted a
Didn't
bad
care.
guy.
It was so amazing.
It was a lot of fun too. Like I was not there in that game, but that night we all did the exclusive together.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Yeah, I
it was
was
really
in
fun to hear, and he was still jacked up about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was really, really cool. And he was a lot of fun. It's interesting because this last year with Z, and then the year before with the young man at Fear the Con. I cannot
Yes.
remember his name. But the last 2 years, I've had 2 really cool opportunities to play games with like kids. I mean, they're 10 or under, maybe 12, and it has been just the silliest, most fun situations. Because I think a lot of times, especially I've been gaming for, again, like I said, 20 years. 15. I started when I was 15 playing Dungeons and Dragons 3rd Ed. And I think that there are a lot of times when we forget after we've played for so long. I mean, just like in regular life as an adult, you forget about some of the joy in why you got into playing this game. And then you sit down at a table with a 12-year-old and they one-shot a bad guy, and they get super jacked up and excited, and now all of a sudden it's like everybody at the table has that same, like, frenetic energy of, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. You should, sit down and talk to him about it.
And then you think about the things the nostalgia that you've lost throughout the years because
Right.
you've one-shotted 12 different,
Right.
20 different bad guys. and
because
then,
you get a little jaded
right.
with what your experiences have been. And I think that that's the struggle sometimes. We don't realize it. But like when we go to Gen Con, it's like there are times when we're trying to compete with previous years where we have captured this really cool lightning in a bottle, and we walk in with an expectation. And the years that I have done that tend to be years when I didn't have as much fun that year as I had the previous year, because I'm focused more on what I did last year and trying to duplicate it than
Living in the moment.
just living in the moment. And which is obviously something that we learn in doing improv, is being present and doing whatever you're doing
You're learning
right then and there.
S skill. That's a sensor skill.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
really- I mean,
personality. Go back and
Which is
listen
exactly
to those.
why it's challenging for Donald and I.
I know, but
And me
isn't it
too.
amazing
I get
though? Because
It's not
you
so
don't.
challenging for me.
Don, in
Not
his
as
personality,
challenging.
Don leans a little
We've been
closer
doing
to
it
mine.
for 3 years. We're not as challenged by it.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm
you're challenged
I'm
for
challenged.
sure,
I
100%.
said
But
Don's personality.
Maybe more challenged in some ways in my life now.
Yeah.
Don's
fair.
personality will lean a little bit more ease to it as opposed to your personality by the Myers-Briggs. But still.
in general, I think it's interesting when we get a chance to sit down and play games with people who are new and fresh faces, even adults that are fresh
Yes.
to the gaming world, and they get really excited, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. This is why I love playing D&D. This is why I love playing Pathfinder. This is why I love playing the war game, because there were aspects of this game that I really got passionate about walking in the first time, and now I've just become almost complacent in a way with what I'm expecting out of that game. Right. Yeah, I think that's probably a good lesson that we all learn in time, but especially this last year, being able to just take time to appreciate what's going on right now. I mean, for Deb, it was a really rough lesson going to Fear the Con with a baby.
Yep.
and wanting to duplicate the experiences that you had had previously at Fear of the Con, and then realizing by the end of the weekend that was never going to happen.
It can't happen.
Yeah,
So we had to come up with another way of doing it, which we did.
That's it.
But yeah, and it is
learn
true.
and you adapt.
Yes. And yeah.
Improvise,
Sorry, was
adapt,
that
and
Josh's
overcome.
story or was that Don's story?
Improvise,
That
adapt,
was Josh's
and
story.
overcome.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so Deb, did you?
Yeah.
You got
Well,
your favorite game.
Well, I actually already mentioned what my favorite game was, which was the Fantastic Beasts Perilous Pursuit. Words are important. Yes, so that was already my favorite. I'll just put that out there because it's for all the reasons that I've given, and you guys can go back and listen to the actual play. I won't bore you to death. The other one that I really liked as well is from Artana Games, and we bought 2 games from them at Gen Con. We played one, and we actually still have to play the other one, so I don't know, that might turn into an actual play. We'll talk about it. But the one I really like, Speakeasy Blues. So I'm staring at our wall of games at the moment. So it's right up there in the upper right corner next to Tesla versus Edison.
Yeah, the one that has like the
Yeah, the lady from like the 1930s, 20s outfit on it.
30s
Yeah.
outfit.
So
Great-
Speakeasy
the great
Blues.
Gatsby characters on the side of the box.
Exactly. That's it. Obvious. Yes. That is a really fun one too. I like it. It's set in the 1920s Prohibition. So and you're a speakeasy and you're competing against your other opponents who also own speakeasies, and you want to be the most successful one. And so you earn it by getting hooch, because back then there wasn't much alcohol to go around. So and you earn it by having famous people come to your speakeasy, and you need to either make friends with cops or you make friends with gangsters, depending if you want to be more on the up and up or if you want to be on the down low. And it's
That reminds me of something Lords of Vegas should actually be.
yes, exactly. You should be able to do that. Yes, you're right. Speaking of which, I haven't played Lords of Vegas in a while. I need to
long
play
time.
that again. Anyway,
Anyway.
we'll pull that out eventually as well. So those are my 2 favorites this year, and my favorite game moment, it was actually when we tried out Perilous Pursuit, Fantastic Beasts. We did a when you go to games and you try them out.
Demo?
And they do a short game. Thank you, demo. Again, words are important. We demoed it. Josh, Carrie and I demoed it. And Carrie and I just loved it. Like, I would have just sat there and just kept playing it over and over, and we had to go, obviously, because everyone else wanted to play it too. But we just loved it. We were so excited, and we were talking about it, and we're like, oh, I can't wait for that game to come out. And I keep bugging Josh, when does that game come out? When does it come out? This is when it comes out. And we finally got it in. I played it by myself. Literally, I played it as myself, as all 4 characters. I played it with Josh several times. It's just a really, really fun game, and I hope they're going to come out with some expansions of some more beasts now that we've had a second movie. So maybe this year at Gen Con, maybe
That'd be cool.
it would be if they
That'd
came
be
out with an
very
expansion. So we'll see.
Well, very quickly, I would have to say I've had the opportunity to listen to all 3 of you and figure out what my favorite game was. Tons and tons and tons and tons of really good gaming moments specifically, but I have to give probably my favorite game to the same game that I did for 2017, which was a 7th Age live-action role-play game that our friend Jason Piercy ran for Halloween, Samhain, that kind of holiday time period. The beginning of November is when he did that. And what was cool about it this year, I was kind of expecting it to be very similar to last year's, but it was very different. It was basically a White Wolf live-action role-play theme. So you've got mages and you've got
Mages and vampires and werewolves and changelings.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff like that.
Hunters and
Hunters and things like that. But they actually included, instead of you having like a resolution system where you were, shooting rock, paper, scissors or something like that, or just competing with each other on like a card draw or something, we actually did, everyone got into groups or clans. And in every clan, there was at least one cultist, and the cultist was trying to thwart the plans of the rest of the people in the clan.
And the clan, as far as who was involved in it, was completely randomized as to what clan you're in.
Yeah,
And they
so
figured that out at the beginning.
and so we had 4 rounds where we sat in a room in our clan and decided who the cultist was and eliminated them from the group, i.e.,
You played werewolf.
You
played
Werewolf.
werewolf
You played werewolf.
for a 7th age game. It was,
But then the twist was that once you die,
yeah, you become a wraith.
you become a wraith, and
With
you
a
have
power.
your own roles
Yeah.
and your own things that you can do to mess with everybody
Yeah.
else.
And the wraiths and cultists could win, or the clans could win if they completed the objective for the night. And the clans ended up winning, which was really fun. But not only did I have a really great time just being able to sit and play werewolf with people, but I had people in my clan, like our friend Monica was in our clan, and I got a chance to play werewolf, basically, with Monica again. And it's been years.
Yeah.
It was so funny. The first round, the first round, we're in our room, and Monica's sitting right next to me, and she's playing a werewolf, and I was playing a fae. She looks at me, and she smiles, and she goes, "You know, we haven't played werewolf like this in a very long time." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "If you're a wolf, I'm going to hate you so much." And it just gave me all those good fuzzy vibes from when we all used to play together all the time.
no pun intended.
Yeah, right. No pun intended. Really, really fun game. Again, the clans ended up winning. I ran into Jason a couple of times after that event at different conventions and stuff, and just gave him all the praise in the world. And with the Pathfinder exclusives and Movie Buff and all these other really cool games that we've gotten a chance to play, Lance's Session Zero series that we did, tons of fantastic games played this year. But there's just an experience about being able to play through a game for 6 hours and basically interchanging Are You a Werewolf with just standard diplomacy style LARPing and stuff like that is really, really, really fun.
I'm in. Sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
I will let him know. I'll
Okay.
let Jason know that you're interested. I think Jason's going to
The
start
wife
running.
might be too, depending on the time frame and what we can pull off.
Sure. I think he's going to start running that
that was the look
specific
she gave
event.
me.
Right. I think he's going to start running that specific event alone because he's got like 1 or 2 other storytellers that are still running their regular live action role play through the year. But who knows? I mean, they might come up with another event that they do in the spring or something like that. It would be really neat. So anyway, I know that we're just about at time. I want to wrap it up. I want to very quickly, in the shortest amount of words you can, we're going to go around same direction. We'll start with Prime. One quick thing that you are looking forward to in 2019. Go.
Beer.
I like it.
Okay.
Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Okay.
Playing more games in my house now that we're actually moved into our house,
new
and I'm
house.
looking at a wall of board games, and a lot of them are still in plastic. I know, don't throw things at me.
Right.
A lot of them are still in plastics. We need to play. Like, look at this.
I didn't get to ask the
There's Tesla versus
favorite
Edison,
non-gaming
there's
moment, but I
Star
figured
Trek
that was
Panic.
probably going to be one of them.
There's
that
Clank
that
over
or
there.
Sam.
Yeah.
Flick 'em up. Overlords of Infamy. I mean,
Okay,
look at
all
these
right,
great
all right.
games.
As few words as
So
possible.
many
Debbie.
I
possibilities.
like how I used one, and then
Yeah.
Josh used like 3, and then
Debbie's got
used
like
the
a
rest of them.
Paragraphs.
Yep. I haven't been in enough podcasts. I have too many words.
I hear you. Well, we got more coming up. I would have to say I'm looking forward in 2019. I am looking forward to Tiny Epic Mechs, my very first Kickstarter that I backed ever. Game
Are
of
they
Games. They are so tiny. You played Tiny Epic Zombies with us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same scale. It's going to
Tiny
be
Epic
so
Western is fantastic
yeah,
also.
it's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward with it. I'm praying that they have it released and possibly available for Kickstarter backers at Gen Con, but we'll see. It may not be. I'm okay with that. I'm still going to probably play it at Gen Con just so I can see what I'm going to be getting. Okay. On our last, this is the first fact for 2019.
Oh my goodness. Actually, it's not, because
Well,
post-con
it
wrap-up
is and it isn't.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't.
Way to spoil it.
Right. We had one left in 2018, which was our Fort Wayne PopCon wrap-up.
That will post in 2019.
That will post in
so
2019. But
It's
our
like a
first-
2018 and a half
Yeah.
fact.
our first official on the books with an asterisk 2019 established. Oh, wait, first. Our last fact from that episode, the PopCon Fort Wayne wrap-up, which, by the way, PopCon Fort Wayne has to go back to Fort Wayne because the Coney dogs at Coney Island are insane. Anyhow, that being said, in no way, shape, or form are Josh and I ever going to remember what episode we are on.
And everyone out there said amen.
That's why I have a website for that.
That's it. That's it. Which we check literally before we record every time.
Except him. So
Well, that's true.
176.
No. I checked the wrong source. That was the problem. I had the wrong information. All right. So on episode 188, our 2018 wrap-up episode, we have established, as we have learned today, even simple concepts like people's names are difficult for Prime to understand. It's true.
Facts.
Established.
Facts.
Oh, man. All right. We want to thank you guys for listening to episode 188 of The Established Facts, and we will check you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.
Please visit us at www.theestablishedfacts.com and our Facebook page, facebook.com/theestablishedfacts. If you would like to support us by buying some merchandise, visit cafepress.com/castingrobot.
Bonus.